Welcome back, everyone, to RMFantasySXperts. I am Chase, joined with my co-host,
Christian. You forget my name, Chastain, something like that.
It could be that. It changes every week. But we are here for round, what are we on, 13?
Round 13, Salt Lake 3.
Oh, man. And if you guys are not aware, I'm sure a lot of you have been looking at the weather updates. It is wet and it is muddy
We're getting all 4 seasons here in Salt Lake in 4 rounds.
We have gone from 90 degrees, hot, dry, and dusty, to 45 degrees, rainy, and mud.
And hail.
Welcome. It hailed on me this morning when I was going for a walk.
We're getting all sorts of stuff. It's getting biblical. So
welcome to Salt Lake City, Utah. The weather can change very quickly here, but we have a lot to talk about. But remember, we are live. That means if you are watching us, you can comment below. We want to hear your thoughts on tonight's racing. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you mix it up because we're going to be in the rain, the mud? Will it affect the outcome?
From seeing practice, it's definitely going to affect a lot of things. So.
And we're going to be giving you live results on practice as we go through this, too.
Look at Russ Savage moving Plessinger up because of the mud. We'll get into that.
Oh, look at that. I got his number plate right here, too. So we are going to talk about that. But comment below. Talk with us. Tell us what you think.
Cole Fisher, the next race, will have a swarm of locusts.
Why not?
Don't say never.
Bag it up, negative, and we'll talk about that why here in just a little bit. But first, before we jump into tonight's racing, our stats, and our picks, let's first do a little race recap of last week. All right, so last Wednesday, we saw a completely different scenario where we had good track conditions.
Awesome track layout. Everything was good.
Really good racing. But first, let's just dive right into it. The results. Or no, we're going to do our highlights first here. So watch this off the start straight. Tomac and ROCZEN took a very inside gate pick, and it kind of bit him because Webb, who gets really good starts, what does he do? He gets the jump, moves over on ROCZEN, and Tomac pinches them off. So right here, Tomac and ROCZEN are, they're pretty far back, mid-pack. At this point, I was like, man, we've got some work to do. What were your thoughts on Christian?
I was just giving shout-outs to Zach Osborne. I mean, my gosh, comes out, takes the whole shot, leads like 20 laps. So, but, yeah, that was a bummer for Mookie, big time.
It was. Mookie went down, but speaking of Mookie, the guy had a killer night. There
won
were so many
good
heat. He did. He won his first heat race, which was pretty freaking awesome. But there's some other great highlights from the race. What else we got here? There he is, Ken Roczen. So Roczen dominated his heat race. And when I was watching, it's like everyone's in trouble. He looks so good in the whoop section.
Oh, yeah. He made him look easy when everyone else is struggling.
Were you guys on the same boat where you watch Roczen and you're like, dude, there's no way you're beating this guy tonight because of how good he was in the whoops?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? And then right here, look at this in the main.
That says it all right there.
See, he was so on fire. And then, like halfway through the race, he just kind of dropped anchor and dropped back. And I saw that Roczen did have a post on Instagram. I wonder if you guys saw that. If you read it, what are your thoughts on Roxon's post? He talked about how he had a really bad sickness back in November. He's been kind of dealing with some asthma issues. And he, just kind of said he has this sickness that nobody really knew about. What do you guys think, though? Timothy here, he's pulling for Kenny. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me that this late in the season, you just dropped anchor halfway through a main event and you got, you weren't even close to, you're fourth or fifth. You weren't even close to Tomac or Webb, and you end up saying, I have a sickness. What do you guys think about
Something's going on.
I don't know.
That's something to.
Got the Rona. Russ Savage.
Something to consider for sure.
He might have the. Timothy Tate says, so sad it was. What do you guys think, though? Is it legitimate? Is it going to affect Roczen tonight with being a mud race?
I think so.
You think so? Let's just talk about the results real quick. You had Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, who almost caught him at the very end, Zach Osborne.
Well, let's see how they did that with the lap chart.
All right.
The lap chart's always good. It's always gold. Look, just look at Osborne killing it.
I really did think that Osborne was going to just check out and win this entire race. What did you think?
I'm impressed by Osborne. Tomac just fighting through the pack again. But you got to give credit to Stewart. My gosh, after he went down, look at that man charge all the way back up to 7th. So
it was a very good night for Malcolm Stewart.
7 Deuce making the main. We got to give that man a shout out.
Did you see the 7 Deuce going through the whoop section
Dude,
in the LCQ?
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He looked like one of the top guys going through. That's the best I have seen Adam look in any race, period.
I mean, that put a smile on every Supercross fan's face.
He looked spunky. He worked his way up. He got second place in the LCQ,
just
so
breezing.
Props to that guy for doing that.
Just breezing into the main.
So look at this. We got some guys commenting on the mud already. We got Dustin Moore saying you have to work the bike harder in the mud, plus the bikes are getting heavier. Roczen will be lucky to get 5th place tonight. Ooh. Do you guys agree with Dusty on that? 5th place for Roczen. Roczen still has a good chance. Heart of the Lion, says Matthew Morrell. I don't know. It is touchy. But here are your top 5 on the table. Who was a wild card champion? I am spacing it right now. Holy cow.
The 2 a weeks is killing us.
I know.
BARCIA.
That's right.
Surprisingly,
BARCIA.
a lot of people had him there. I mean, our 2 top picks, BRAYTON and STEWART, both missed it by 1 spot, so it's kind of a bummer. But good, BARCIA. It was doing better than he did the week before, I guess.
I know, it was. But those are your results. What do you guys think? Who had BARCIA in the wild card spot for 8th? BARCIA started in 3rd place last week.
And still fell.
And dropped back to 8th place. And when we're talking about ROCZEN fading, BARCIA was way worse. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about that. And what kind of frustrates me, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. PLESSINGER for top 3 tonight from Colin? Could be. But BARCIA said, and I think after the first race, that they had made major bike changes. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking in my head, dude, we already went through this at the very beginning of the year. You talked about how you went all the way back to almost a completely stock bike.
Yeah.
Just to get a better setting, and you were doing well. And then he said he just did it again. He made major bike changes. Like, if I'm a factory 250 Yamaha rider right now, do you want to be on the factory 450 Yamaha team?
I don't know.
Like, with many struggles they're having, with how much they've had to change the bike. Fast as BARCIA for the win. You know what? It's a mud race. It could be. We saw him win in the mud 2 years ago. Anaheim won. BARCIA's making excuses, same says James Crawford.
I don't want to go that far.
Yeah, well, do you? You might need to. You might need to.
Far. I mean, it's a tough sport. There's fast dudes out there.
It is a tough sport, but come on. If you're the Anaheim 1 winner and you've had podiums, and
there's something going on.
Yeah, it's called major bike changes, or just I don't know. What do you guys think?
I hate using the excuses, but
even like right now, dude, I'm struggling a little bit.
Oh,
yeah, Dustin Moore does think BARCIA could top 5 if he gets a good start. I don't know. He hasn't had a good start in how long? It's been so long since BARCIA got a good start. So really,
this year? I don't know if he has this year.
Not yet. Maybe Anaheim won. Well, he got a good start last week. I'm lying. He got 3rd off the start and faded back to 8th.
Let's talk about it. I mean, he started 1st at A1, 3rd the 2nd round. Since then, it's been pretty bad. But, Salt Lake City 2 started 3rd. Daytona, before we left, he started 4th. He's capable of it.
You really think so?
But it's just what he does with it after.
Cole Fisher thinks his hand still hurts from when Tomac gave him a little kiss going through that corner.
Maybe. I don't know. He didn't want to get anywhere near him last week when Tomac went by. I know that.
Yeah,
look. I didn't notice that.
Randy Lane still thinks PLESSINGER will be in the top 3 because it's going to be mud conditions.
I'm high up on that, dude.
You think PLESSINGER's
we
licking
know
his
we'll
chops
see
right
a
now?
belly flop if he does. So.
Ah, man. How is OSBORNE in the mud? Asked Stan. I really don't know.
We'll have to look it all up.
Yeah,
but let's look at the stats from last week.
Let's do it.
Average score is 44 points. 12% got the wild card correct, which surprised me. So the SXperts are on it.
That means I'm only average from last week.
Only 1 perfect score. So kudos to that man or woman. 3 straight rounds with at least 1 perfect score. So let's keep the streak going. And 23% of players had the top 5 in their picks correct, just in different order.
Yeah.
And 73% had Tomac to win. Only 10% in WEBB. So if you took that chance, you made up big points. So only and one person I did notice picked Justin Bogle to win. I thought that was odd. So if that's your boy, you need to talk to him. Let him know he's been out for a while.
So we actually just got an update. Aaron Plessinger was just interviewed at the stadium right now while practice is going on, and they say he's licking his chops.
I guarantee
he is excited to go.
This
so
is suiting his style.
I know, but let's see here. Mikkel Rath, he tried to do the triple in practice, if you guys aren't aware, and #case is what I'm hearing right now. It did not turn out well for him. But let's talk about injuries real quick. So this week, again, no Musquin, no Suvaci. AC, Adam Cianciarulo, people, this is important if you haven't been paying attention. He is actually going to be sitting out all the rest of the rounds of Supercross, which is a complete bummer because we love to see that guy on the track. It must have been worse than we thought when he got hit by WEBB.
Might as well play it safe at this point. I mean, he's a young dude.
I think at this point in the season, which is a bummer. This is one of my things I don't like about this sport, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Comment below. We want to hear your reaction to this. Guys get to a point now where they think, you know what, I'm totally out of this championship. I have no chance. And they just kind of throw in the towel, you could almost say, because they want to get ready for outdoors. And I'm not saying that's what AC is doing. He could be hurt. But
I mean, it's hard to stay motivated when the points have pretty much eliminated you.
But they still want those bonus checks and everything.
Well, the bonus has been cut too. So I don't know. There's a lot of factors going into this.
Yeah, I don't know. Pay the racer more money. That's what they're saying, that AMA and FEL should be paying more money. Easier said than done,
but we all agree with that.
I don't know. Dustin Moore thinks Malcolm's going to crash midway, but it's just a bummer to see things like that happen. Here's a big debate, and I want to talk about it real quick. Sorry, we're going a little off track here, but Jeremy Martin And this is important because a lot of people have their opinion on it. Jeremy Martin, again, another rule, another thing about the sport that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I want to hear your guys' reaction to this. Jeremy Martin just said that he is not racing the rest of the 250 East Coast rounds because he will be basically booted out of the 250 class. He'll point out and he'll have to go to the 450 class. So he's like, well, fine, then I just won't race the rest of the year.
So he's pulling a Martin.
He's pulling a Martin Davalos. Martin! And he's not going to race the rest of the year, so he can still race 250s next year. What are your thoughts on that?
I see it as the rules are the rules. He's got to do what's best for him. I see no problem with that. A lot of people win the 250 championship, move up to 450s, and never do much, where they would have been better off staying in the 250s.
That's right.
Look at like Jake Weimer type stuff.
Yeah,
so.
BJT's here. Back Future is not calling it quits. It's future preservation. Here's my thoughts on it. J-Mart, you do what J-Mart's got to do. If the rule says, hey, you're going to point out if you finish. Unfortunately, I just think it's kind of a bogus rule in my opinion because J-Mart, he would be absolutely foolish to go to the 450 class because he's a past 250 motocross champion twice, and there's no 450 rides that he's able to get next year.
Yeah.
So why would you give up a factory 250 ride where you're making a good salary?
And you have a good shot at another title.
Exactly. To move up to the 450 class because people think you should.
Yeah.
No.
What do they say? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Joe Oro says he's a sandbagger. Hey, you got your opinion, but I'm going to disagree on that.
I'm going to also.
Because
you got to do what's best for you.
I think 99% of us out there, myself included, if you were saying, hey, I've got the choice to stay back and make good money or jump up to the 450 class where I don't even know if I'll have a ride next year, you're not going to, I don't even know if that's really a decision.
I mean, you got to put yourself in that man's shoes. It's easy for us to say, but.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeremy has never been the same, though, man, ever since his back. I mean, we got to remember, too, that
gnarly
Jeremy missed
crash.
basically a full season and a half when he had that back injury, so we're forgetting about that. James Crawford said you got to do what's best for you. Sean Swartz says he agrees with Jay Martin. See? 100% agree with that, says Eric Havel. So I don't feel him alone. But, hey, if you think he's sandbagging or if you think he should move up, then they got to change the rule or do something because if Jeremy's allowed to do it and he's doing within the rules, and, you can't blame the guy.
Martin's been in the 250 class for 2 decades, it felt like. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with that.
Anyway, that's kind of my rant, my little thing I want to get off right there. But let's talk about the racing tonight because we're going to have things that are definitely going to get mixed up. So here it is. Let's talk about our top contenders. All right, so with our top contenders tonight, let's put them up on the board.
You skipping track trends there, bud? Or are we going to just combine them?
No, we're not going to do
be a marriage made in heaven or what?
I'm so sorry, folks. I skipped it. We're live. It's my first big mistake on the live show.
It's bound to happen.
I'm
forgiving.
I got a little ahead of myself there. But let's talk about the track tonight because we were watching qualifying. It's still going on right now. It's
raining hard. It's looking muddy.
It is muddy.
But not as bad as we thought it would be. So
it's not. There was actually they've had the track covered up pretty good, and they moved practice. So there's gonna be less time between practice and the night show tonight. Remember, the night show starts at 3:00 Mountain Standard Time, so that's 5:00 on the East Coast, 4:00 on the West, 2:00 on the West Coast. But I looked at, I know James Crawford. Come on, James, struggle's real. But there was actually dust coming up when I saw some of the 250 guys going out there. So they've kept the
it was
track
weird.
pretty
Our boy
dry.
Kobe pointed that out. You got mud and dust at the same time.
Cole Fisher's calling it Soupy Cross. That's actually a pretty good name.
Write that down.
I know, but the track is going to go away really quickly. We're curious to see where qualifying times come in. We're going to see those here in just a moment.
Yep. Do we got the track map here? Let's take a look.
Let's look at it.
Shorter straight than last week, which is probably a good thing in this mud because that starting straight looked slick to me.
So?
So, I mean, it's going to be harder to cover that much area. It's going to get a lot of moisture. But the actual track layout looks pretty sweet. They're still jumping it in practice.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens once they start to get more rain because I think it's inevitable. Maybe we'll luck out and not get any more rain for the night. But
you might be safer because it looked like we were talking about earlier, the moisture is building up in between those jumps where if you miss one, you're going swimming.
Yeah, could be pretty gnarly. But overall, I mean, I just hope that during the night show, it's not going to get to a point where they have to roll every single jump because it's really just not that exciting. Yeah, you don't want a Seattle Supercross for Chad
like
Reed's
those.
Pushing his motor. You like those races?
I like where they're just struggling for traction the entire time. Don't bother me.
And we got to go back to the last real mud race we had. It's been a long time. It was actually San Diego of last year where Tomac.
Is this Lime?
He won that race.
We're talking about Limegate here?
Yeah, we are talking about Limegate just a little bit.
But no, I like this track layout. It looks like they did a dang good job keeping it as clean as they could. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to get muddy, but I don't know. They cut out one practice to, try to preserve it. So there is that.
Yeah, so what do you guys think on the track tonight? Is it going to be a complete mutter? I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. Pretty interesting, but we got to talk about these gentlemen that you see up here on the table. These are the guys that are challenging for race wins each and every weekend, and it's our top contenders.
We got Tomac. Let's talk about him. He's won 5 of the last 8 rounds. Has only won rounds that he's qualified second or better at, though, this year. And if you remove A1 where he finished 7th, he's only finished first 6 times, second 2 times, and fourth 3 times. So he's all up there. He hasn't taken third all year. It's kind of weird, but
yeah.
I mean, where are you putting him?
Where
You
am I
think he's
putting
still
Tomac?
a favorite to win this race?
Yes. Well, man, it's so in a mud race,
Anything can happen.
anything can happen. You could wash out the front end. Tomac, though, he's shown that he's good in mud, so I wouldn't let that deter people from still putting Tomac in first place, which as of right now, what you were saying, over 80% of people have Tomac to
I
win.
fully agree that Tomac's got the best chance of anyone this round.
So I really wouldn't stress it too much about the mud as long as these guys can keep it on 2 wheels. But the start's going to be crucial, man. If you get buried halfway or 3/4 in the pack or in the back of the pack, you are going to have a hard time. One, vision's going to be a huge factor tonight. These
We'll
guys are
see
gonna be
someone
running
with no
roll-offs.
goggles
You're
rolling
gonna see a
around.
lot of riders with no goggles, and we've seen bad things happen when you do take the goggles off. So I don't know. So Tomac, he's still the favorite to win. I think he's just fine, but like I said, it's a mud race. What about Kenny here? We just saw his Instagram post.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that his issue there is going to affect him tonight because I don't know if they're going to shorten down the main event yet. They'll probably announce that, once the night show starts. But it's a lot cooler temperatures. They're obviously not going at the same pace. But here's the thing that people don't realize. Mud riding makes you probably more tired than when it's dry and in good conditions because you are fighting the bike so much harder. You're using your legs to squeeze more. So it could be a factor for Kenny tonight that he might get tired.
Yeah, I think the only thing really working in his favor is he gets good starts. And if you can get out in front, keep your vision clear, and not have to battle through the pack, that's going to help. So
yeah, Shadow Gamer here doesn't think K-Rock's got it. He thinks Webb's going to have for the win. But so, I mean, with ROCZEN, though, do you put him in your top 3 tonight? Do you put him in second place? Where do you put him?
I don't think he's out of my top 5, no, but he's definitely not in my top spot.
Do you know he's finished exactly where he's qualified 5 times this year?
Yeah.
He qualified 5th last week or Wednesday, finished 5th. Maybe kind of take that into consideration if you're not sure where to put Kenny.
It's worth considering. I agree.
All right, now let's talk about the man with the number 1 plate, Cooper Webb. What I rank Cooper Webb ahead of ROCZEN for tonight's racing.
I do as well.
Because
I mean, he's got steam. He's got momentum right now.
And he's a little shorter, so, you might say, oh, he'll struggle in mud because his legs, they don't reach as far. But here's between 2 perms. Johnny Smotherman, he's still waiting for between 2 perms with Blake Warden. He would be a good call to have on here.
We need to get that guy.
But as far as Cooper Webb goes, I'm going to go back to the outdoor season last year. They had 1 mud race last year. Can't remember off the top of my head which race it was, but Cooper went 1-1 in the mud. So the man knows how to ride in mud.
Yeah.
So short legs and all, I still put Cooper, for whatever reason, I'm going to put him ahead of Kenny tonight for second place.
I mean, let's talk about A1 last year. Mud Fest.
That's right.
He started 20th, fought all the way back to 5th. I mean, remember, he was the one hitting that one jump that nobody was
The
hitting.
double-double,
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper,
the entire night.
what's crazy is you think back to that night, is that 5th place
It won him the
probably
championship.
is what won him the championship.
Yeah.
Not saying that was make or break, but how many points did he gain going back to 5th?
I mean,
and nobody had Cooper Webb on the radar to even be a
he could have
contender for the
easily
championship.
took 10th, and no one would have said a word that race after starting 20th.
That's
He
true.
pushed to 5th.
Look at Angela Fannon's got Tomac, Webb, BARCIA for 3rd, ROCZEN 4th, Anderson in 5th. I don't really know about Anderson in the mud. I haven't really.
Anderson's good in the mud. We got some stats on that, too.
Do we? All right. Well, speaking of Jason Anderson, let's talk about this man. Where do you guys have Jason Anderson in your picks tonight? The guy's been right there in the top 5. He's been running really strong. Are you guys going to put him in your top 5 again? Look here. Gavin James, 952's got Tomac, Webb, BARCIA again in 3rd place, Anderson 4th, ROCZEN 5th, Baggett for 11th. He said he doesn't like racing in the mud too much, but, Evil Genius says Jason Anderson should have stuck with Baker. Do you agree with that? Hey, you got to do what's right for you, right?
Yeah.
But let's see. M. Dean's got him in 5th place tonight. C. Chris has Anderson for the win.
All I know is
Are there stats to back that up?
Let's go with the stats because they don't lie. The last 3 overall finishes 4-4-4 with starts of 7, 13, and 2. So that tells me it doesn't matter where he starts. He's settling in that range.
Okay. He's only finished out of the top 5 3 times this year, so he's got to be in your top 5.
Yeah, he has to be up there, no doubt.
You know what's crazy, though, is he still hasn't finished better than 3rd this year.
Yeah, it's insane.
The 2018 Supercross champion still hasn't bested 3rd place. That, if you would have told me that this year, I would have said, nah, you're crazy. That guy's going to be challenging for wins.
You got to remember in Seattle, that one Mutter, too. He took 2nd. I mean, let's not forget that. So.
Yeah, let's see here. Shane Wilkerson says Anderson is going for it right now and qualified. Like, let's see what happens. I think it'll be exciting to watch. Anderson's probably my favorite rider, one of my favorite riders to watch, which is how loose he is. You have the jersey untucked. By far, I want to know that. Who's your favorite rider to watch? Who has the best style, the best swag when they're out there riding?
So it'd be hard to pick. I mean, you got to bring up
I would go
Mookie.
with Anderson. Yeah, but I'd still go Anderson. Anderson, to me, is just
Anderson
fun to watch
looks out of control and in control all at the same time. I'm not sure how he does it, but.
Yeah, Shane Wilkerson says throw out the stats because Anderson is frisky right now in practice.
Well, the stats say he took 2nd. I'm with that.
Do you take a gamble?
I'm putting him up there close.
Ooh, look at this. Nukes has Justin Hill in 5th place. That's a risky pick, but hey, it could pay off for you. But last rider we got to talk about up here on the table is Zach Osborne. Who's got Zach in their top 5 tonight? He has proven himself. What he raced or led 20, 21 laps last week.
20 laps. I mean, a lot of people didn't have him in their top 5 last week, but people will this week for sure. I mean, his last 3 overalls, 3-5-5, has only finished in the top 5 when he's qualifying 10th or better this season, though. So watch that. Might be the tipping point. He's led 28 laps. 20 came last week, but that's the 4th most out of any rider this year. So, and he's finished 5 spots ahead of where he's qualified in the last 2 rounds.
We got some people in here. Dustin Moore and Lucky Macy have him for 3rd place tonight.
I mean, look, only 28% had him in their top 5 last week. It's crazy.
And he led 20 laps, got 3rd place. So, yeah, that's right. See, Chris says he's looking better every race. That is true. I kind of feel like Osborne's going to win. He could easily win one of these things given the circumstances that he had on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, to lead that many laps and not win, he's got to be pretty motivated, I think. So,
let's see. Barely has got Chad Reed will win it tonight.
If that happens,
no,
we'll really be getting biblical.
It will not happen. So here's a poll that we want to have you guys do up here. You can see it on the screen. Who will win tonight? Ken Roczen, Tomac, Webb, Anderson, Osborne. The way you vote is you just put !vote space, and then you put the rider's name that you want to win.
Yeah, I like Stan M here talking about Osborne racing in Europe. He did. I mean, he's raced everywhere. So.
Yeah, so vote in right now. Is it Tomac? Did I just hear that Tomac tops the board with a 57.629? Gosh, it's hard to bet against that man when he wins. But we want to hear your votes. Ooh, Tomac, he's got the first couple votes right here. But who do you guys think is going to win tonight? Is it one of those riders up on the table? Could we see somebody else win? Given the circumstances, if somebody else that we're not expecting to, hole shots, like a Malcolm Stewart. Remember Dean Wilson Anaheim won? Mm-hmm. Or, excuse me, going back a couple years ago?
I mean, he was out front with Mookie for a long time.
Dean Wilson led like
in the
15
mud.
laps that night, so he's been shown to be a good rider in the mud. So maybe Dean Wilson's a rider that we're not talking about right now that should be up there. But we've got some ROCZEN. Oh, man, it's a lot of Tomacs coming in.
Tomac just taking over.
We got a couple Webbs and ROCZENs, but Tomac Anderson, there we go.
Gosh, you want to see him win so bad. Dude.
I just like Anderson. And you know what's crazy is not too long ago, go back a few seasons, I wasn't the biggest Anderson fan, but maybe it's Team Fried or maybe it's just
him sitting back chilling.
He has won me over. I am an Anderson fan, and I am just waiting for him to get that win this year. But there's a lot of other riders that we're going to talk about that we want to see who you guys think would be the coolest rider to see win
Somebody
next.
Somebody voted for Hurlings. Not bad. Not a bad choice.
No. What do you think he would do? What do you guys think? Do you think Hurlings could come over and race Supercross with these guys? Do you think given a couple years to get ready, he could do it?
I don't see how he couldn't. I remember when Clement DeSalle or when he came over and Dungey was owning. Well, he came and showed Dungey what was up. So
really? I think Darian Sinai has been racing 250 Supercross right now, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen some other riders do it.
I like this Pike pick.
Weston Pike in the mud.
Gosh, I missed that, dude.
But look at the poll right there. Tomac, he is easily the most favorite picked rider to win tonight.
So you can use that in fantasy. I mean, if you want to take the safe pick, if a lot of points, that's a safe pick. If you're trying to make up points, maybe go the other way.
Yeah, look at that. We had a guy that Rise here says Hurlings beats everyone.
I'd like to see it.
It would. Could you imagine him and Tomac and these guys just duking it out? It
That'd
would
be
be
awesome.
pretty cool. But those are your top contenders. You guys have voted up here on the board. Looks like Tomac easily is the favorite to win tonight. It's not even close.
No.
It's not even close.
I mean, it shouldn't be, honestly. We're
I know.
pulling for a long shot on anyone else at this point. So,
But now let's talk about some of the other riders who we just could,
less
things could
picked
really,
riders
less
that
picked
are very
riders.
capable of making the
But
top 5.
you've got to put them up here because things could definitely get mixed up tonight. So here it is. This is our weekly spoilers. All right, Christian. All right, fans, all you SXperts that are out there watching, let's put them up here. Let's put Chad Reed up there. Somebody said he should win tonight.
I like this guy barely. To be honest, I think tonight will be Reed's last opportunity at a win. That's got to be crossing his mind.
At a win or a top 5?
I mean, a rough track. Does he send it? Go for it? I don't know.
I don't know. We've got Oakster thinks that Hurley would show Tomac up easily. I don't really think so.
I just like the dude with the simple name, Fast. Stewart, ride of the night. I'm high up on Stewart right now. We've got a lot of reasons why.
Let's talk about these guys, though, because first of all, Justin BARCIA. What do you do with this man? He said he likes riding in mud. He's done really good in outdoor seasons when there's mud races.
Mm-hmm.
He won Anaheim 1 a couple years ago when it was a complete mudder.
Yep.
So do you put Justin BARCIA up a little bit? Look, his last 4 overall finishes are not good. 8-8. Well, excuse me. They're 8-8-5, and then he had that second place.
Mm-hmm.
Do you move him up this weekend?
So why not just keep blasting people?
That's true.
He's going to keep blasting people. I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I mean, 2 back-to-back 8s.
Vesta Moore says to put BARCIA out to the pasture. Oh, man.
I don't know.
Look at that, though. He hasn't made the top 5 when he's qualified worse than 13th this season. So we'll have to look at where his qualifying is right now today.
I mean, he does have the
that's
4th best average finish in standard rounds, which is a top 5. So you got to give the man credit. I think we just have a lot higher hopes.
Yeah, I'm going to look at his qualifying, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, we'll see where he goes. He's on average been finishing about 6 spots ahead of where he's qualified this season. So if he's qualifying back there, it doesn't mean much. He can always pull it out. So
except if he's worse than 13th, dude. Stats don't lie. You're the stat guy.
That's his tipping point. At that point, you gotta take him out.
All right, look, we just got it in. Here's the overall qualifying right now for the 450s. You have Tomac, Dean Wilson, second fastest qualifier, Jason Anderson, WEBB, Osborne. You know whose name I am not seeing up there? Is ROCZEN. He's in 8th place right now with qualifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
But all the guys that you would expect to be in your top 5, except for Wilson, are up there.
Mm-hmm.
ROCZEN's back there a little bit.
Yep.
And that could affect his gate pick in the heat race, which could affect his start overall at the night show.
Well,
so,
speaking of Dean Wilson, let's get into that.
all right. What do you have on here?
I mean, Dean Wilson, his last 3 overall finishes, 6, 10, and 7. He's right there.
Okay.
And he's got speed. He hasn't made the top 5, though, since round 14 in Nashville last season, where he qualified 3rd. So when he's qualified 3rd or better in the last 2 seasons, he's finished in the top 5 in 3 of those 6 rounds. So at this point, stats say he has a 50% chance of making the top 5 tonight.
All right, and if you go back to Anaheim 1 2 years ago in that mud, remember he led about half of that race. So I am high on Dean Wilson tonight. For whatever reason, I feel like maybe he's feeling spunky. Husqvarna sweep tonight from Kobe Knight. Kobe.
Dude, that would be something. Look at him go.
I have a feeling somebody likes Austrian bikes. I don't know.
A little bias there? I don't know.
Grandpa Earl. Yeah, Grandpa Earl. I like that.
No, he's got a lot going for him right now, no doubt. All those Husqvarna bikes do.
Yeah.
So.
Malcolm Stewart right here. Speaking of Malcolm, Chris says if he gets a top 3 start, he can challenge for the W.
I agree.
I would agree with that, but let's talk about some stats on this man real quick. So last weekend, he won his heat race. He beat Cooper Webb straight up. And I think nobody's more excited, obviously, than his dad, who we saw those pictures up in the stands, pumping his fist. But he had the fastest lap in he had his fastest lap in lap 11 last round.
That was the latest for any rider. So stamina questions are, to me, not as
And remember, he went down early in that race, and he charged all the way up to the front. So that dude, his fitness is there. He finished. So what's crazy, though, and this is kind of like Anderson, where Anderson hasn't finished best in 3rd, is Malcolm has not made the top 5 yet this year.
We all know that, but I'm throwing it out. I'm throwing that out this week. I'm putting him in there for his first top 5 ever tonight.
Think so?
I'm doing it.
All right. So you think he gets his first ever. And this was just Tomac was a half second faster than everyone else in qualifying. I don't know
can't
how
argue
much
with
that means, but that's a confidence booster when you go into the night show and you're a half-second faster, especially on a mud track.
Yeah.
Where it's really pushing your limits. So you've got Malcolm Stewart in your top 5
But with
tonight?
Malcolm, do you have him in your top 5? I solidly am putting him in my top 5. Where are you at on it? You got your notes here. Hard to recommend for a top 5 till he finishes there. He's got to do it eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a risk. I would. Oh man. And even he would go back to Anaheim one last year, 2 years ago in the mud. What did he do?
He was up there.
He was going to pass Dean Wilson, and he was probably going to win that race until he went down.
I'm just saying.
Maybe you're on to something. What do you guys think? Is Malcolm Stewart a top 5 guy this week?
I'm in. I'm all in on Mookie tonight.
Let's see. C. Bowers, he's got him in his top 5. Not tonight, says Dustin Moore. Yes. So we have a lot of people who are high on Mookie fever right now. All right. Well, there you have. Those are the weekly spoilers.
Wait. A lot of people asking about this man.
Oh, that's right.
Aaron Plessinger.
Okay, man, there's too many riders to talk about. It's hard.
I mean, we know what he can do in the mud. We've talked to him before. He's an ex-GNCC guy.
He loves the mud.
The rougher, the better, he said.
They interviewed him tonight, and they said he was licking his chops.
What did he tell us? He says he wishes they didn't even cover the track, touch it up, nothing. He wants it as rough as possible.
We'll have to find out from our guy where he qualified tonight if we can. Let's see where AP qualified, but he does love the mud. He thinks it's an absolute blast. I am on the other side of the fence, but he's finished between 10th and 12th overall in 6 rounds this season. So, I mean, he looks more like a pick for the wild card tonight.
The mud changes things.
Do you think the mud moves him up 5 or 6 positions of where you would expect him to finish? That is the real question, though. Aaron Pickett's got him in 9th.
Around the 9th range,
Devin
so maybe
Duffy
closer to the wild card.
Devin Duffy think he'll be good because it's a mud race?
I think he's definitely in the range for the wild card, but I put him above 11th place tonight also.
Yeah, look at that. Kyle Nicolite said AP's not even in the top 10 right now in qualifying, so he said that's
he never
a hard
does,
pass.
though. He never does qualify well.
Yeah, he hasn't qualified that well, but I don't know. What do you guys think? We got him in 7th place, solid 10th, 7th, so no, I think more people are up on Malcolm Stewart right now than Aaron Plessinger.
But you got to give that man some peace of mind. He's up there. I mean, he's qualifying 2.5 spots behind where he finishes on average and standard rounds. So,
all right. Well, here's a question for you. We have another poll that we want to do tonight, which we thought would be a good one. Of all the riders that we haven't seen win yet this season, who would you guys be more excited to see win? We got some guys up here. We've got Anderson, who's won in the past but hasn't won yet this year. Would you like to see him win?
Oh.
Malcolm Stewart, Zach Osborne, Christian.
So many good dudes
my
up there.
My co-host Christian.
So
How would you
many
like to
good
see
dudes up
Christian
there.
racing a 450 or Aaron Plessinger? Of those riders up there, remember,
keep the ambulance
type
close.
in / vote space and then put the name of the person, the rider that you want to see win for the first time this year.
I'm just saying, take me out, sub that in for Trey or Wyndham. That'd be my
gosh,
pick.
Dude.
We all know Trey throws a leg over that bike. He's getting the dub tonight. We all know that. We all know that. But.
Well, let's see here. We got Stewart right now who is taking the lead. People want to see Anderson win.
People voted for me. That's wild. One vote.
I would pay a pretty good amount of money to try and watch you ride.
I would just make it through
track.
a few jumps and have to get oxygen.
Do you think you could actually?
So
a few laps, you think a few feet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a cruising type dude.
Oh, Malcolm Stewart right now. Ooh, we got Osborne guys starting to step it up a little bit. Who do you think? Who do you guys think?
Plessinger's got to get some love. We all know he'd belly flop in the mud. If he even gets in the top 5, we might see that.
Oakster 123 wants Reed. We've got some Reed fans in here, and I guess maybe if Chad Reed could win one more race in his career, it could be.
I mean, it was a mud race, and he was up in the top 5 for a minute. So he's done it before.
But look at that, Malcolm Stewart. He really is the people's champion, and he's winning that pretty easily.
First top 5, people are losing it tonight if he pulls that off, or better. Let's get him a podium, maybe even that dub.
So it sounds like Malcolm Stewart is the rider that most people would love to see get his first win. It would be pretty cool. He could do a little throwback, some stuff to attribute to his brother James, who did the sprinkler, all the cool celebrations. Malcolm's done a few of those too when he was winning the 250 races back in the day. But,
Never a dull moment.
Who has the best celebration dance? Aaron Plessinger or Malcolm Stewart?
Oh, that's got to be Plessinger, no doubt. I don't know. Maybe we should.
Diving into the mud puddles when he won that last mud race.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Plessinger.
But you remember when him and Malcolm did the dance, the robot thing together? That was pretty cool. Well, there you have it. That is the poll. Looks like Malcolm Stewart is your top guy to win. But now let's jump right into it because the wild card this week at 8th place. So let's talk about it. Wild card watch.
Oh, wait. It's 11th. My bad.
Oh, it's 11th.
Yeah, wild card 11th.
You put 8th on the sheet here.
Our sheet, the wheels are falling off here.
Oh,
but
man, why do you do that to me? Sorry. Wild card is 11th place this week. We got Oakster 1-2-3 coming in with the 7-deuce-deuce. Is that for the wild card or for the win
his career
tonight?
best to get the wild card, but nobody'd be happy or nobody'd be upset to see it.
Okay, but if we're just going off of stats here, there's going to be some riders up here that maybe you don't think is going to be the best pick, or we've already talked about it a little bit, but you got to get them up there because of stats. And like we said, stats.
A lot of people saying Reed for the wild card.
All right, I'll keep him up there just because people are asking for it. Do you think Benny Bloss, do you think he's a contender?
I like Benny Bloss. I like him for the wild card this
I think
week.
Blake Baggett's even a good choice.
I think Bloss is better.
Really?
I really do. I'm just worried about Baggett.
Justification for
he
that.
was rolling the whoops late last week, and it just didn't look good to me.
Who do you guys think? Who is your top pick for 11th place tonight? A lot of people have Justin Hill. I better find his number plate. Justin Hill might not be a bad pick for 11th, though.
Justin BARCIA wild card all day at best, he says.
Best. Jeremy McGrath for the wild card?
That'd be wild.
Oh, man. Bam, bam. Martin!
Martin!
But if we talk about it, okay, first of all, the mud. That's what makes this so difficult. You could see a guy like a Tomac or a ROCZEN or one of these top dudes getting 11th place tonight, depending on what happens
If you
in that
go
first start
down
straight.
and have a hard time getting back going, yeah.
We got a lot of people that think Chad Reed should be up there for the wild card, which honestly I don't think is a bad pick.
Somebody said Tyler Bowers. I'm going to advise against that.
Yeah.
He hasn't even finished the last 2 races.
Well, hold up. Let's throw up Justin Brayton's stats right now because Justin Brayton, stats-wise, looks like a really good pick. The man has gone 9, 9, 10, 12
Yep.
in his last 4 main events. Even when he gets a good start, he still fades back because he was up there in the top 3
Yep.
one of these races at Salt Lake, and he faded way back. And his season average finish is 10.75.
He's finished 2 spots from 11th 5 times this year. He's always around there.
I'm feeling pretty good about Justin Brayton.
Yeah.
What do you think, though? Okay.
I like Brayton.
What about Plessinger, though? Because look at Plessinger's stats.
He's been behind 11th on all his recent stats. But he has taken 6th this year.
Yeah,
So,
but
with AC out, look at his last 2 finishes, 12-12. AC out again. I'm thinking that moves him up.
moves him up a spot.
Track conditions, again, moves him up. I think he's going to be better than 11th, but
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people choose him in wild card.
Okay, I want to see your comments below. Is Aaron Plessinger a better pick for the wild card this week or for a top 5?
That's a good question.
What is the safer pick? Top 5 or wild card?
Where are you putting that man?
Alex Ray make it the wild card tonight. That is a possibility.
That's a good one, too. I like
Brandon Banggerter was thinking Barcia right now for top 5. I don't know. We got Premix Utah. I think it's Benny Bloss for 11.
I'm really leaning towards Bloss.
Rick Strom says Bayton. I don't know who Bayton is, but I know a Justin Brayton.
He's celebrating. Justin, let's get to another Justin for the wild card. Justin Hill.
Okay.
His last 2 rounds, finishing 16 and 10. He's finished between 10th and 12th overall 5 times this season, too, just like Brayton. So he has a good chance to get in there, too. We know he's kind of wild. He made a good comeback here in Salt Lake before, so I like Justin Hill in there. I think he can do it. 10th last week. Can't hate on that.
I know, but he's just so all over the map. He's one of those guys where it's like you could be close to the top 5 or you could be way out in the back. So I don't really know. For me, honestly, risky. For me, Martin. I think he's a safer pick for 11th place tonight because look, he's finished his last 2 finishes are 11 and 6. So he's okay. I lied. He's got all over the map too. But he has finished within 2 spots of 11th 4 times this year, and his average finish of the year is 13th.
It could be a challenge each week just to pick where he finishes because you never know where Martin's going.
That is a question. Was Brock Tickle in qualifying today? Did we see that? I'd have to look. A guy put up Tickle question mark, so we'll check that out for you guys real quick. But who is your pick for the wild card tonight? Who's going to take it? That's probably, this late in the season, if you're doing well in the points, the wild card's probably the most important because the top 5, really at this point, we've established there's really only top 5 guys that you can bank on being up there. So the wild card's going to give you that extra boost.
Yep.
So
I'm not seeing Tickle on here either.
Oh, I don't know. Brock Hall's saying Tickle in 450B. So maybe he is going to be there.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you want to look at qualifying time, see where he's at.
Off 450A, Blake Baggett qualified 11th, Reed 10th, Brayton 12th, Hill 13th.
Really?
Plessinger's at 9th. So all those dudes definitely should be on your radar.
That's right. Devin Duffy's got it right. Martin in there. I like it. So let's talk about championship battle just overall. We got some extra time here. Do you think ROCZEN's out of it? What do you guys think? Is ROCZEN out of it? Is this Tomac's championship to lose at this point? Do you think well, with tonight's race, it completely throws a wrench in it because we don't know what ROCZEN's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think could happen?
It can't be good. If he's fading and then starting to come out with reasons why he's not pushing, I don't see that as being the strongest mentally that he really thinks he can do it. I don't know.
We have some people saying, look, Fast said yes. It is that yes, ROCZEN's done, or it's Tomac's to win? Stick a fork in the 94, says Kyle Nicolai. Tomac's to lose. Man,
I mean, we all love ROCZEN. Don't get it twisted. There's
Dirt
no
Doll
hate on
says
that man.
he's never out of it. ROCZEN's not out of it. So there's people saying that ROCZEN's not out.
He's not out, but the only person that's going to get him back in is Tomac, is what I'm going to say.
The only guy that can beat Tomac is Tomac?
I still agree with that, but we've all seen him tip over and have weird issues late in the season. So
I don't know. C. Bowers, he doesn't have ROCZEN in his top 4. Rick Strom there. He's got ROCZEN in 5th. K-Rock's out of it. Man, there's a lot of people thinking Kenny's not going to have it. Does Webb have a shot? What if Tomac went down? What if Tomac had a bad race? Would you put Kenny to win or Webb to win?
I'm going Webb all day over that. And I think, I mean, ask them. If you ask Webb, if you got him off camera, he thinks he has a chance, and he is going to push. That dude just doesn't back down from nothing. That's why I love him.
Yoga Doug thinks that Webb is more of a threat than ROCZEN is at this point.
I agree. I mean, he's got momentum. That dude's just a pit bull.
People here still think that Webb has a shot. Webb to win. Look, if Webb wins, how many points down is he right now? He's about a race down.
Yep.
Because the first 2 races basically now just been a wash for those two. If Tomac has a bad race where he's 10th or worse and Webb is up there at the top, yeah, I think this championship is going to be a Webb-Tomac battle at that point because kind of depends on the weather too.
He's about 30 points back, but still, I mean.
I don't know. William Weber thinks it's a Webb championship this year. Devin Duffy's got Tomac, though.
I mean, he's back far in points, but he's been solid. He really just had 2 bad rounds where he took 12th. Other than that, he hasn't finished worse than 4th in any of the other rounds.
I know.
So
he really kind of did replace Ryan Dungey in a sense.
I bet he's wishing he had fantasy rules right now where he drops his 2 lowest scores, put him right back in the mix.
A lot of people think Tomac deserves it. It's Tomac's year. I agree. I think at this point it's Tomac's championship to lose. I think he's in the driver's seat. Do you agree with me or disagree, Christian?
I agree. Full-heartedly.
Ooh. So. Sean625 says you can't use stats in a mutter.
To a point.
Yeah, I mean.
To a point.
I think you can because you're still going to have, as we've already seen, the top 5 guys are still qualifying fast. They're going to get good picks or good gate picks in the heat races. I think you can still kind of bank on it. But, yes, things could change. And here we have on the – yes, here it is. This is the overall qualifying. Look at that. Tomac up in first. Dean Wilson, who I am high on right now. I think I'd go Dino over Malcolm Stewart, but Malcolm Stewart's right there in 6th place.
I'm up on Mookie right now, big time.
And ROCZEN's back there in 8th. Aaron Plessinger 9th.
I mean, look at A1. Last year, Wilson 5th or 4th. Let's get into some mutter stats. I know. Webb took 5th. Tomac took 3rd. ROCZEN 2nd, Wilson 4th.
And I'm looking on there, too, because a lot of people are talking about Blake Baggett tonight, and I'm looking at where he qualified, and he is not up there.
Not up there at all.
No, he's in, 11th?
Don't forget A1 last year, super muddy. Plessinger did take 6th. Really? I got to mention that. Reed took 9th. It might have been even his best finish of the season last year. So.
Brock Tickle qualified in 16th, so he's pretty far back there. So gate pick's going to be rough in the heat race, so it could be a pretty rough main event for that guy. But yeah. I don't know. We've hardly seen him race this year, so I really don't know what's going to happen with that man. Mm-hmm. The track will change every lap in turn, says Shadow Gamer. That is true, but it's going to be a lot slower speeds. I don't know. It's going to be a wild night. Amy Wicks has got Tickle in there. Chad Reed with 1 lap qualifier. I don't know. Okay, here's a question. Now I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Last couple things before we let you go so we can get ready for some racing tonight. Chad Reed's calling this his farewell tour. Mm-hmm. Do you think he uses this as the COVID-19 deal? Do you think he uses that as an excuse to race one more year if he could be on a KTM with factory suspension? What do you guys think? Is Reed regretting his farewell tour this year because it's just been such a bust? And do you think he's going to come back and race one more year?
I would, if I had to guess, he comes back at least one more race. Hopefully, where we have fans in the stadium to cheer him
Like a
out,
nostalgia race?
to send him out right. You know what I'm
Look
saying?
at that. Fast thinks yes, he comes back.
I wouldn't want to go out to an empty stadium. I'll tell you that. After that career, no.
People are saying he'll come back one more year. They're saying he'll probably be back, bust one more year. I don't know.
Come back one last race at least. I mean, send him out at A1 next year, something like that would be pretty awesome.
All right. Well, you know what time it is. Now that we
He's
have
ready
all the
for
stats.
car racing. That's what Aaron Pickett says.
Well, now that you have all the stats out of the way, you know what time it is.
It's time to lock him in.
Let's do it. All right, Christian, I'm giving all these number plates to you. I'm going to let you deal with this mess once. Go through those. Give me your top 5 picks for tonight. And I want you guys to comment below whose picks are closer, who's more on, myself or Christian, or are we just completely off? What do you guys have right now?
Oh.
Let me say, we got Tomac. Rodrigo Salas Oliveira's got Tomac.
Dude, that was
ROCZEN,
nice
Malcolm
accent,
Stewart.
bro. Right off, out of nowhere, out of blue.
Hey,
That was nice.
I got it right there.
Okay, I'm going Tomac for the win, no doubt.
Okay.
I think him and Webb are going to be battling it out. Up there, up front. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't even care if I'm wrong. I'm going with my heart. Where's Stewart at?
Oh,
Where is
Stewart?
Stewart
I'm
at?
sorry, I've got him right here.
I'm
Third
putting
place?
him in third. He's not only going to get his first top 5.
You think his first podium's going to
First
come?
podium, let's go. Malcolm Stewart in there. Then I'm throwing Anderson. He's taking fourth just back to back to back.
Okay.
So I'm putting him there again. And then fifth. Oh, man, that's tough. I got Wilson. I got Osborne. I got ROCZEN, BARCIA. I'm going to go with ROCZEN. They might shorten the laps if it gets really bad. He gets good starts.
Oh,
There's my top 5. My wild card, Benny Bloss. I don't know where his plate's at.
it disappeared on me. I don't know where we stuck it, but you got Benny Bloss in 11th place tonight.
I'm putting Benny there. He's took, like 13th or so the last couple weeks.
Look at this. We got Lindsey Hurst has got Tomac, Anderson, Cooper Webb, Zacho, Ken ROCZEN. Bam Bam in the mud is fire. I don't know. Mud puts out fires, so we'll kind of see how it goes. We got Bloss there again. All right, now let me give you my top 5 picks. Again, comment below. Are we on or are we off? I'm going with Tomac. Absolutely. I'm still going Cooper Webb in 2nd place. I'm not going to go as high up as 3rd place for Malcolm Stewart, but here's what I'm doing. I'm mixing things up a little bit. I think Malcolm can get his first top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But then
He's your long shot. Oh, no. Wilson's your long shot.
I'm going to go Dean Wilson in 3rd place. The man
That'd
has
be
got to get
awesome.
on the podium. I'm not going to call it a Rockstar Husky sweep like Kobe Knight, but here's my top 5. I've got Tomac, Webb, Wilson, Anderson, Malcolm Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
I did not put K-Rock in my top spot.
You're worried about him. I can see it in your
The
eyes.
last mud race we had, he did not fare so well, and I just don't know what this man's going to do tonight. And then for my wild card, I'm going to go with my boy, Martin.
I mean, we all already knew that.
That's it. Who
We
has
all
better
already
picks right there? You guys vote up on top. You can do an exclamation point. Vote, space. Who do you think has better picks? Me, Christian, or are we both questionable?
I think people are just hating on me putting Mookie on the podium. It's weird.
Ooh,
But-
I'm winning right now, dude. How do you feel about that?
I'm just sitting back chilling like Anderson would.
Oh,
what I'm
let's see.
doing.
Martin in the top 10, and same with Bloss from Brock Hall. Look at that. Oakster 1, 2, 3 has got K-Rock winning. Wilson, man, Tomac back in 5th. You are taking a gamble, my friend, I think, just because not too many people, like what? I bet you 85, 90% by the time the night show starts will have Tomac in 1st place.
Oh, yeah. There's no reason not to, unless you're trying to make up points.
We got people with Wilson in the top 5, both questionable. Thank you. I don't know how
People mentioning Freezy. Let's look at his last 3 overalls. 16, 18, 11. I know he loves that wild card
Things
spot.
have
but
to go right
Yeah,
for Vince Freeze
I'd
to
say
finish
it's
in
a
11th
bit
place tonight.
smaller chance for that.
Yeah, we see. Rich H has got Zacho in the top 5. Here we go. JJ Maxwell, Webb, Anderson, Tomac, Osborne. Again, ROCZEN back there in 5th place. I think a lot of people kind of doubting ROCZEN tonight after what we saw last week.
Well, there you go. In
And
mud,
look at that,
things
look at
get
that
wild, he
leaderboard. Look at
says.
that poll.
Yeah, but
How do you feel right now?
that's what I like to see because
Look
I
at that.
want
There are
people going that way.
There are more votes for both questionable than people that think that you.
That's fine. Look, I want people going that way because when my picks come through, I'm making up the gap.
All right.
This round, let's
whatever
go.
makes you feel better. Well, there you have it. They are locked in. Now, remember, the show or the night race is going to start here in about 40 minutes, so make sure to get your picks in on time. Remember, rollovers do not make you eligible for weekly prizes, so don't let that happen to you. But now, let's talk about why you want to be playing RMFantasySX. So here it is, our weekly prizes. So before we dive in and talk about these, you just got to remember, tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell anybody you want to. RMFantasySX is free to play. You go to RMFantasySX.com, you create your free account, and this is how easy it is to play. All you do is you watch the SXperts here, Christian and I. We give you the stats. We help you make your picks if you're not quite sure. You make your top 5 picks. You make the wild card selection, and then you just have a blast watching Supercross. And that's how you play. It's that easy. You can create groups. You can join our group, our Fantasy SXperts group.
I mean, if you're watching Supercross, why would you not?
I don't know.
It just adds a whole new level to it.
Makes it so much more exciting. And like I said, it's free to play. We give away 100 weekly prizes, and the top 10 weekly prizes this week are 3 sets of Bridgestone Battlecross tires, plus Supercross 3, the video game. That is not a bad deal there.
Hold on. You closed the poll. I see all these vote Christians coming in late. My guys are just fashionably late.
Snooze, you lose.
So,
all
anyways.
right. Second place, we got Bell Moto 9 Carbon Flex. Then we got Fly Evolution Gear Set, 100% in the mix. Pro Honda Prize Pack. We've got an Cherby Spending Spree Skosh. We got a lot of cool products from those guys. Works Connection, Factory 4 Stand, and Skid Plate, Motool Digital Sag Scale,
Nice.
Fox View Goggles, and, of course, 90 Rocky Mount ATV MC gift cards.
I mean, you got 100 chances to win.
100 chances.
So, and then let's not forget about the grand prizes.
Okay.
Big stuff up for grabs. First place, the top scorer this year is going to win KTM 450 SXF Factory Edition. Second place, KTM 250 SX, and then, other great prizes coming in, the VIP Monster Energy Cup. It's hard to put a value on that. I mean, that's almost priceless.
That's my favorite one because
that's a priceless deal.
It is.
Then you got a full year's of Dunlop tires. Going to hook it up all year on that. Going to Alpine Stars Gear and Casual Package, Tusk Impact Wheels and Honda Generator, Fly Sets, the Milestone video games, video game console 4K TV. Let's set your living room off with that. Motion Pro Tools. Whoever wins that every year, when you talk to him, that winner is always so pumped. And then Oakley coming in with some goggles and sunglasses too. So a lot up for grabs.
And those are the grand prize at the end of the year. And I'm pumped to give away that 252 stroke. I know a lot of people are too. A lot of people have said they would rather have the 250 SX over the 450 Factory Edition.
That's what we've said. I mean, when those winners get here to pick them up, the second place guys,
make 2 strokes great again.
He's going to be getting some offers on that thing, I'm sure.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, everybody that has been tuning in during this show. And remember, we are coming to you live each and every week right after qualifying. Normally, it's right after qualifying. This week, they changed the schedule up a little bit because of the weather conditions. So we did overlap a little bit. But on a normal race night, we're going to come to you right after the last qualifying session to help you get the stats, help you make your picks just before the night show. We love that you guys are commenting and chatting with us during the show. That's our favorite part about this. We love to interact with you guys. So thank you for chiming in.
I mean, look at Rodrigo, though. He's saying Webb is short, is as short as Zach. That's why I'm dropping him out of the top 5. Bloss, we know how tall that man is. That's why I put him in my wild card.
And probably the most important thing that I took away today is that my picks are better than yours.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Well, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, subscribe to the RockyMountainATVMC.com YouTube channel. Get subscribed, stay up to date, and have an absolute blast watching Supercross tonight. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
We'll see you next time.